Good girl. How do you? Okay, are we live? Perfect. All right. My belly's in there. Nice. Anyways, alrighty. So I just got all the tools cleaned, and Haru's been such a good girl. Alrighty. And she is really mad at. I just want, man, like she's really, really mad at all over. Let me lower this a little bit. There we go. Okay, so just wanted to kind of show the work that I do to get her combed out and ready for the bath when she's so completely matted. It's okay though. All right, there we go. So I just cleaned off my tools. So if you have a long-haired Shih Tzu and you're trying to avoid shaving her down, like clipping all the hair off, then what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to get a comb to go through the coat. But the comb will not go through the coat because she's matted and you can feel the dreads, the thick matted dreads. So if you just yank it and pull at it and tear it with the comb, it's going to hurt too much. So here are some of the tools that I use. This is an old pair of clunkers, like blending shears. Um, I dropped them, so they don't really work that well. So I don't really use these to cut anymore. So I use this for this blade edge because it's blunt here. So even if I accidentally poke the skin, it's just not gonna cut or puncture. So I use this to slice through the mats. So you might want an old pair of scissors that has a blunt tip. This is a slicker brush that Ashley gave me from Ashley's Pack down in Orlando. I really like this, but you want a good slicker brush. See that? Something that's not going to scrape and scratch, but it's going to catch and brush out. But this is just really going to get the surface done. Oh, shoot. How does a Havanese, by the way? Sorry, I just got a text from the owner. How does a Havanese? So you want this to break up and pull all the hair out, but you want something like this to start, like to rake. All right, let's just get started. Right? How do? Oh my goodness, she's such a good girl. Hey, girl. Oh, there's a mat right here. All right, good a place to start as any. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the scissors. Scissors. I'm just gonna use this to cut. Okay, girl. And I'm just gonna go through and just slice through the mats. I don't know if you can see. Because I can't wash her in this. If I wash her in this, it's just gonna get worse. There we go. So I have to either cut it out, shave it out, or comb it out. And I do prefer to comb it out. But in order to be able to comb through all of this, you know, I have to kind of break it up first, cut it up. There we go. And this is in my opinion, this is the most gentle way because I'm not tugging and pulling. The blade is just kind of catching the mat and cutting and slicing. There we go. And because the tip is blunt, because the tip is flat, it's relatively safe. I mean, I'm sure you could still find a way to injure a dog with it, but if you're careful, it's safer than the pointed tip. Good girl, how do we? Oh man, there we go. And this is like all over. There we go, girl. Alrighty. A good girl. Just finding the mats and just gently slicing through. And I'm using a back and forth motion because that helps slide through the mats with that cutting blade, the cutting side of the scissors here. There we go. Just back and forth. There we go. There we go. There we go. That way, even though it pulls a little bit when it catches another mat, I can feel her wanting to react, but then she trusts me because we've done this before. So she trusts that I'm not gonna hurt her. And I do pull back whenever I feel it catching a big mat, instead of continuing to push pressure forward, I kind of pull back a little bit and relax. There we go. All right. Wow. There we go, girl. This is everywhere. There we go. And so the thing is, when you understand what's causing all of this, it's because this summer has been the most intense summer in recent memory for me. And the changing of their coat is all dependent on the sunlight, the change in the sunlight. So because summer has the most intense periods of sunlight and the longest days, their skin goes through the biggest change, I believe, in my opinion, from what I've studied about their skin and coat and how it works. So it also all responds to the photo periods, the intensity and duration of the sunlight. So because this summer has been so intense, in my opinion, that's why these dogs are getting so matted like this, so kind of crazy. It's also my fault. We had to reschedule a couple times and, you know, but yeah, it's just during the summertime, all dogs need to shed, but long-haired dogs, they don't shed. Like a Havanese, like her, which sorry, I called her a Shih Tzu. You're a Havanese, right, girl? But whether it's a Havanese, a Catan, a Bichon, a Poodle, a Shih Tzu, no matter what, if your dog has long hair, they can't shed their coat the way like a lab or my dog Dexter, like a pit bull, any kind of short-haired dog or medium coat, even like my dog Angel, like the double-coated dogs like Huskies, German Shepherds. They can handle the summer much better than these long-haired dogs because they shed their hair out. But long-haired dogs, because their hair is long and fine and has a long life cycle, it just hangs out in the skin and just gets all bunched up in there. It gets packed inside the skin, and so all this dead hair is just bundled up in there and just gets tangled up. You see, it's like Velcro. A lot of times when I'm working on like a Great Pyrenees, for example, and I get all this dead undercoat, it literally forms like a brass knuckles around my fingers, and I have to like pull it off like they're brass knuckles, seriously, like they're rings all connected around my fingers because the hair tends to, you know, this like Velcro stick to each other because it's dead. It's hair that needs to be shed out, but because long-haired dogs don't shed out, they really need our help. They need us to go through and comb them with a metal comb, not just a brush, because when you brush these long-haired dogs, you're just separating the top coat. Like I mentioned with the slicker brush, you're just separating the top coat, and so she'll just look a little better, a little softer. But really, we've done nothing to untangle the mats down near the skin. So you really want a metal comb like this that's going to get down there. But this is not going to budge right now because she's too matted. So You want to get a pair of scissors that you don't really use, that, it doesn't really matter if you dull it down, slicing dirty hair. Because I don't use these scissors for haircuts. So I just dropped them one day and they didn't work anymore that well. And I didn't really feel like taking them to the sharpener. And I felt like, you know what? I need a pair of scissors that I can use for dematting purposes anyway, so that's why. But yeah, you don't have to use blender specifically, but just, if you could find a pair of scissors that has like a blunt tip, you know, so it's not sharp, that's perfect for going through and slicing through these mats like this. Oh man, good girl. Alrighty. She's such a good girl. There we go. There we go. I used to think to myself, man, this takes too much time. This is gonna take forever. But I gotta spend my time doing something. You know what I'm saying? What else am I gonna do? Well, I mean, I guess I'd go fish, but nobody pays me to go fish, you know? So I feel like I gotta spend my time doing something, you know? Why not spend it detangling a dog, you know? And she feels so much better because you can see where these mats I'm cutting at, it was pulling at the skin. The skin looks a little red underneath. So you can imagine how uncomfortable this has been making her feel. All of these balls of hair, of dead hair, just this matted stuff that I'm cutting through right now. It was all tangled up and pulling at her skin, right, girl? So you can just imagine how good it feels getting some of this stuff out of there. Okay, there we go. Good girl. Okay. I need to get at that side. Oh, I can just move her. Okay. There we go, girl. All right. I'm like, how am I gonna get over on that side with the wall there, the camera's there? There we go. I can just move her a little bit. Okay. That's the thing. I'm learning more and more that even if the circumstances are not ideal, it's really how you look at it that determines how you go through those circumstances, how you go through the experience. Like when I'm fishing, for example, sometimes it is infuriating. It's a rage-provoking experience. It's not relaxing or stress relieving. In fact, it makes me so angry sometimes when I'm just getting tangled up in all kinds of who knows what, logs, branches down there. Sometimes I get snagged up on, someone else's old line, and I'm losing lures, snapping them off. I'm getting like this my reel explodes and I just get this big bird's nest around my reel, whenever I cast, and like it's just really frustrating sometimes. And I just want to go home and I just never want to touch a fishing rod again. But then I tell myself, you're new at this, right? And I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm new at this. And it's like, okay, so yeah, you're making newbie mistakes, right? And that's what a newbie does, right? It's like, yeah, I'm just a rookie. I've only been fishing a year now. And it's like, and you've been catching some decent fish, right? And it's like, yeah, I have. It's like, well, you're paying your dues. Like this is just what we have to go through to get better, you know? And then I tell myself, oh yeah, well then, I mean, as long as I'm getting better, and by getting tangled up, I get, I kind of figure out how to not lose the lure sometimes, and I go out there and I go get it. So now I like kind of I wear these boots, these rubber boots, and I go out there and get. Oh, one time I went out to go get my lure, and oh, freaking red snake, huge red snake. Anyways, but you learn these things, you learn these things. I just tell myself, as long as I'm getting better, then it was a good experience. But yeah, like I got stung by a wasp. This was just this past week. What was it? It was Tuesday, I think. Was it Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday. This past Tuesday, after I got off of work, I stopped by this park that I never catch fish at. And the only reason I stopped by there was because my client lives like 2 minutes away from that park. So I was like, I mean, I'm here. Let's just try it one more time because I always have my fishing poles in the back of my truck. So I tried it again, got skunked again, no matter where I tried. So I got upset. And so then I tried another place, another park called Rhodes Jordan Park hey girl, on the way home. And then while I was there, I was fishing on these rocks, this bank that has rocks. And while I'm fishing, casting out and everything, I already lost a lure, so I was already kind of frustrated. I was getting tangled up in my bait caster because I learned on a spinning rod. Well, I learned on a clicker. You know those Zebco clickers? That's what I learned on last year. That's the first time I caught a bass was on that rod. Then I started with the spinning rods, spinning reels, and now I'm trying to learn how to use a bait caster, and I'm getting tangled up every time I throw the bait out there. The spool on my rod just turns into a big mess, like a bomb went off, and it just frustrates me. And so I was using my spinner rod, and I was using a spinner bait, and I'm casting it out there, and I hear this buzzing noise all of a sudden in the rocks right behind me, in the crevices, in those holes, and I hear this buzzing. Zzz. And so then I was thinking, and it's getting louder. Zzz. I'm like, is that a rattlesnake? I'm thinking to myself, is that a rattlesnake? All of a sudden, like 50 wasps, 50 like brown wasps fly out towards me, swarming me. So I run, but then my fishing rods are there. So I grab my other two fishing rods and I get tagged right here on my left ankle. Oh, it hurt so bad. That sting hurt so bad. And my left ankle started swelling up. And I should have just went home, but it wasn't so bad. The pain was bearable, so I kept fishing. In fact, I stopped by another spot near my house and fished a little bit more because I was like just trying to catch something so I don't end the day with the skunk. Um, but then I had to go home because my hands started swelling and my lips started swelling. And I was like, oh no, what's going on? And then I started getting rashes all over my body. Like I took my shirt off and oh my goodness. First, as soon as I took my shirt off, I had to take a moment and just like, take it in, because I was like, holy cow, that's sexy, right? So that happened for a second. But then after I got over that, um, I saw bumps all over my body. I'm like, oh my God, what is that? So I looked it up and I'm having an allergic reaction to the wasp thing. And that's why my lips swelled up like a duck. I had duck lips. It was crazy. And so I rushed over to a CVS and it was like 10:58. I had 2 minutes before they closed. The Google said they closed at midnight, but I guess they changed the hours. They closed at 11. So she saw me and I was like, I just need some Benadryl. And she was like, okay, you got 2 minutes. So I ran over, got some Benadryl, got some wasp sting stuff, and then took the Benadryl, took three of them actually. Went to sleep and I kept telling myself, don't be scared, trust your body, just relax. Because I hear that when you're scared or worried or stressed, your immune system, your body, can't fight off. stuff as well because of the extra stress, because of fear or worry or whatever. So I kept taking a deep breath, and that's the thing. Breathing was even difficult. That's when I knew I was like in trouble. So I was like, man, I got to go to work the next day. So I had these two little multi-poo to do the next day. So I just meditated and I went to sleep. Next morning, my lips were not swollen, but they kind of felt fuzzy, and my left leg was swollen, like it was like a balloon, and it hurt. It was throbbing. I could feel my heartbeat in my left ankle because it was all swollen. It hurt to put my shoe on, but I'm a professional, right? So, um, strapped up, suited up, and I went to work. And um, I by the time I took a two Benadryl in the car on the way to work. By the time I got to work, my hands were no longer swollen. My fingers were so swollen the night before. I could feel the pad of my pinky. It was just swollen. Um, so my fingers and my hands were not swollen the next morning. I could work. It's just that my left leg was swollen because of the wasp sting, and it was hurting. That was this past Wednesday. Got through it though. My client on Wednesday had no idea. If she sees this, she's gonna be like, "What? I had no idea." Because I'm a professional, bro. You know what I'm saying? When I show up to work, I'm not gonna tell you all my problems. I'm gonna get to work and do my job and do it right if I can, to the best of my ability. And then by Thursday, so I went fishing again the next Wednesday after I got off of work. I probably shouldn't have, but I did. I hit up this lake because I actually told myself I was not going to. I was going to give my body time to heal, but I hit traffic on the way home, and right where I hit traffic is this exit called Pleasantvale Road, and I knew where this little lake is, and right off the exit. So I'm like, traffic or fishing? Traffic or fishing? You know what I'm saying? Fishing won. So I got off the highway because I was in traffic anyways, and I went to that lake to go fishing. So that was Wednesday. So I'm fishing, and then all of a sudden I start feeling itchy everywhere. The back of my neck started itching, everything, and all of a sudden I started feeling bumps everywhere. So I go home and I look it up, and yeah, sure enough, not only did I get stung by a wasp that night, but all of those bumps and everything, it was probably because I ran into poison ivy running away from those wasps. So this was poison ivy that I was spreading because I thought it was bug bites. So I was scratching it. Oh my God. Had it occurred to me that I was scratching poison ivy bumps, I wouldn't have scratched so much. And so now I have bumps all over my body. My waistline has it. My butt crack has it. My armpit, like I'm miserable. So I rush home. On the way, I stop by and I get some cortisone cream at CVS. So then again, I double up on the Benadryl, and then I put the cortisone cream all over my body. I also bought some spray, some Benadryl spray, sprayed that all over the bumps, and now I'm sticky and I'm miserable. And I'm thinking, OMG, maybe this is kind of how the dogs feel when, they have all of these mats all over their body, pulling at them and making them feel uncomfortable, all of this extra, like, oh my God, like maybe this is how the dogs feel because I literally didn't want to do anything. I went up to my room. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to cook. I didn't want to take my dogs out. I didn't want to do anything. Yesterday was different. Yesterday I got off of work, um, and instead of yeah, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. Instead of going fishing or doing anything like that, I mowed the lawn front and back. I took care of my dogs. Felt good. But anyways, why did I go? Oh yeah, that's right. I realized um, whether I liked it or not, I was going to have to go through, the pain, the discomfort. It's like I can either go through it looking at it like, oh, poor me, or I can go through it looking at it like, here's the thing. Okay, on Wednesday, I was in so much pain. grooming those two dogs. My left leg was throbbing, like just my hands were still kind of hurting a little bit, like anyways. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me use that. I'll use the scissors instead. Sorry about that. I'll use that one. But I asked myself on Wednesday while I was working, because I was like, man, like I really wish I wasn't in so much pain. But then I was like, wishing it was different is useless, It does no good to wish things were different. It's not going to be different, it is what it is. So then I asked myself, am I willing to accept this pain if it never goes away? Let's say this pain is permanent and my left foot is going to hurt like this for until I die, and then this pain is never going to go away. Can I deal with it? Am I willing to accept it? And I thought about it. I was like, yeah, you know what? If I have to live with it, I can live with it. I can deal with it. And at that moment, the pain wasn't so bad. It was really interesting. It was almost like a natural mental pain reliever. Like the moment I realized, like, if this pain never gets better or goes away, I'm willing to deal with it. I can accept it. It's fine. Then all of a sudden, it wasn't so bad. It was interesting. But yeah, that's how I got through Wednesday. And then Thursday, yeah, I had this really big Pyrenees, and he is so strong. Oh my goodness. And I was already kind of tired from the 2 nights before, dealing with all of the swelling and, the allergic reaction to the wasp sting, the poison ivy, all of that, working through it. So I'm doing this Great Pyrenees, and he used to be so scared of me that he would run and hide. He no longer does that. He actually is pretty cool with me. But this time he was really mad at again because the summertime. I mean, this sun is wreaking havoc on our dog's skin and coat. So even that big sheepdog, the Great Pyrenees. So I'm trying to comb him out, brush him out, and he's so strong. We're wrestling. He's bigger than me. He's stronger than me. Like we're just wrestling. And his parents, his owners hear it, in the other room. And they hear me like grunting. And I mean, because we're wrestling, full on jujitsu. You know what I'm saying? I had him in a rear naked choke. He wouldn't tap. He wouldn't tap no matter how hard. That's had him in a guillotine at one point. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to choke him out, but he's just too strong. And he is stubborn, boy. He is stubborn. He would not tap. Anyways, he tried to tap. I almost tapped actually. I tapped a couple times. Anyways, yeah, I think they kind of felt bad, because and I told them, like I'm really sorry if it sounds like I'm complaining. Like I'm not really complaining. It's just that I told them that I just want to be honest from now on about how I'm feeling. I don't want to hide it anymore and try to mask it because that's what I used to do when I was younger. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even. No matter how like tired or how frustrated I was feeling, I wouldn't express it at all in front of my clients. Like on Wednesday, hold it in, be a professional. But sometimes, like on Thursday, I allow myself, let's just let it out because I was telling her that so I think a lot of the frustration I felt with my clients, I brought it upon myself by being dishonest, by singing and trying to act all positive and cheerful, trying to keep myself, upbeat so that I don't feel so tired and exhausted and just just sometimes frustrated. Yeah, like with that Great Pyrenees on Thursday because yeah, it was getting really frustrating. And because I'm already tired and I'm already exhausted and I've already been going doing just like lack of sleep because of everything I was going through with the bee sting, with the wasp sting, with the swelling, and then the bumps all over my body and everything. So I was just already kind of like you know run down. And then yeah, he was just pushing every button. And so I just kind of, let them know how tired and frustrated I was. And I did apologize afterwards when I was done, but I just, I told them that I'm doing it because before I would reach a point where I would get so like just upset and feeling like my clients don't even appreciate or understand what I'm doing for them. They don't get why it's taking so long, like, and it's my fault. It's because I was lying. I was making it seem like, I am happy to do this. I'm happy to help this dog out, but it's not easy. This is difficult. It takes time and effort and patience and know-how. You have to know what you're doing so you don't harm the dog either. So, yeah, I was just like thinking, you know, maybe I shouldn't have complained so much on Thursday. But I'm glad I expressed how I was feeling and they appreciated it, my honesty, because we're like old friends now. I mean, yeah, I've known them for a long time. I've been grooming their dogs for a long time. So I've been grooming their dogs before they had these dogs. I was grooming their original set of dogs. So yeah, I mean, maybe it was because it was them. I felt comfortable enough to express how tired and frustrated I was. But man, I think it's okay though. We're all human, like we don't have to be perfect. But I think the willingness to go out and do a good job for someone, even if you are feeling tired, because that's our profession, that's what we do, it's our responsibility towards others. So this is what I do. Like I heard this idea that I really like. And I'm just babbling on because no one's here. It's just me. This empty house. But recently, not recently, a few months ago, no, was it not? No, it was maybe like a year ago. I came across this idea about vocation, and I think it was Malcolm Gladwell that was talking about it, or maybe it was Simon Sinek, but one of those guys talking about your vocation. And he's saying a vocation is not just your occupation. It's not just what you do for a paycheck. Your vocation is like a calling. It's like a lifelong dedication towards something, towards a craft. And he's saying that vocation was usually reserved for the clergy, you know, so like a priest, that was their vocation. But he's saying really the word vocation, the root word, it comes from vocate, like vocal, like vocalize. It's your calling. It's something that you're called to do. And it's like, it's not just your occupation, it's your vocation. It's like something that you feel like you're meant to do. Um, where did I put that trash bag? Oh, there it is. But I really feel like this is my vocation. I feel like this is something that I've been called to do because I just feel so natural when I'm doing it. Like I just feel it just clicks, like I just understand the dog. Like I don't know. And that dog in Orlando, when I went down and groomed that crazy dog Charlie, I really do feel like, wow, I feel like all the experiences that I've been through in my life and everything that I've done uniquely qualifies me to deal with a dog like Charlie and to try to help them. I'll be honest, full disclosure, this last time I couldn't get her head done. She's getting older and it's not like her behavior is getting any better with the grooming. She's getting a little better with me. She doesn't growl anymore around me so much. And she tolerates my presence now when I'm just hanging out with them in the house. And she'll take treats from me now. So we're making progress, but not with the grooming behavior. She still goes all out, full on crazy. And it's just getting way too dangerous, especially around her face. So this last time I was able to get most of the head and the ears a little bit, but yeah, I couldn't get around her face this time. And I felt like, wow, man, that's just, kind of like a failure on my part. But under the circumstances, I feel like I did my best. And yeah, I think fishing has really helped. But I've gotten much better now at just accepting failure, as part of the process. You're not gonna hit the bullseye every time, and that's okay, you know. But under the circumstances, I feel like I did my best, right, girl? And you know, we got her haircut done, most of it, and she's not injured. The owners are happy. So yeah, we just do our best. But I do feel like grooming, like helping dogs feel better by taking care of their skin. This is something that I've been called to do. Oh, there we go. There we go. Good girl. All this fuzzy stuff has to go. And the smell. All this fuzzy hair is what's causing the smell, too. This is what's making your dog smell. And when it gets wet, it smells even worse. Because here's how it was described to me. The hair is fibrous by nature. It's a hair fibers. So the hair frays, and as it gets dry and the hair fibers start to open up, they're not sealed together tight, like scales. Um, it's wide open for bacteria, almost like a honeycomb or something, like an empty honeycomb. They have all these little chambers opened up in the hair, these dry hair fibers. So bacteria and fungus, all that stuff moves right in. And then what you're doing is like, kind of how like our gym clothes, when we sweat and it smells, it's not really our sweat, it's the bacteria from our sweat. That kind of like that idea. So when the hair gets wet, all of a sudden, all the bacteria and everything that was deep in those hair fibers, as the hair fiber soaks up the water now it fills up with water and pushes all the bacteria out to the surface, and then we get that smell. That's why you get that wet dog smell when they get wet. It's that bacteria that's being pushed to the surface of these dead hairs, these dry, fuzzy hairs. And I want to make that clear because it's not the healthy hair. The healthy hair is sealed and it has oil. There, you see that? All of that hair. And it feels different, it feels fuzzy. The healthy hair has a different texture to it. It feels silkier and smoother. All right. I'm sorry, girl. Here, let me use the scissors. There we go. Whenever it pulls too much, and I can tell that it kind of hurt her, she'll kind of turn. And she used to bite me, but oh, she's so sweet now. She doesn't bite me anymore. But that's when I know, okay, that tool's pulling too hard. So let's move to the more sharper tool. So I'm progressively moving down. If it's really matted like it is back here or behind the neck, then I'm going to use the scissors and slice through the mats, break it up. Then I'm going to move down to the dematting rake here and break up the mats even more. Then I'm probably going to use this here because it's nice and wide. Pull the broken mats out, those little dots, these little mats, these little dots. Pull those out. And then probably move over to the slicker brush and brush everything out. And then I can use this comb here and go through the coat. And then she will be mat free. All the mats will be out of her skin, out of her hair, her coat. Her skin will be nice and, smooth again because it won't be so full of all that dead hair that it was packed full of. And then she was ready for the bath. Because if I just washed her in this, it would be like taking a shower in a bunch of dirty clothes, like going out fishing and getting all muddy and sweaty and everything, and then going home and just taking a shower in my dirty clothes. That's kind of like how it would be if I just washed her without getting rid of all of this. There we go. Good girl. And you have to be careful. I've cut myself so many times doing this. There we go. And I may cut myself again today, who knows? But that's the thing is you just got to be really careful, be mindful, intentional in what you're doing. Wow. Yeah, it's just a big network of mats here on the legs. Maybe I'll bring the camera closer so you can see it. Sorry, I got it charging against the wall here. That's why. Maybe you can. Oh, you know what? I'll flip the camera. Maybe you can see it better. See? A network of mats. See that matted hair? See that? All that thick dreads? All of that. It's just thick, thick. So, oops, sorry. There we go. Okay. Good girl. How to. All right. Okay. Let me cut through it with this girl. That way it doesn't hurt so much. Good girl. To me, this is the hardest part of the groom, the prep work. Getting her skin and her coat prepped properly, and that's the foundation of the groom. I'm building a foundation here. This is all the hard work. And then after I do all this, then washing her is easy. I mean, it's just lathering her with shampoo and rinsing her off, and then doing the same thing with conditioner. Because when I'm washing her, I'm not worried about all these tangles and mats because they're not there. I'm working it all out before I wash her. So, the bath is the easy part for me. And then they dry easy. And the haircut's easiest part for me. Well, it's the most skill involved. It took the longest to learn, but once I gain the skills and I know where to cut, why I'm cutting there, build the the principles, the fundamentals. Once you get the fundamentals down, this haircut is the easiest part, is the most enjoyable. It's the most like that's when you're being creative and artistic. This is just grunt work. This is like just construction work, like labor, This is just restoration. Yeah, basically that's what we're doing. We're restoring the coat. We're restoring the skin and the hair to normal balanced state. It's basically restoration work. Right, girl? Good girl. How to. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. It seems impossible when you first look at it. You're like, oh my God, that's gonna be impossible. It's not impossible. It's just gonna take a little time, a little effort, right, girl? But we're getting closer and closer. This leg is feeling much better. We're getting this leg feeling good, right, girl? There we go. Good girl. Okay. Oh, don't bite me. Just as I told the camera, you don't bite me anymore. Okay. Thank you, Haru. Thank you, girl. Okay. There we go. There's certain areas that are worse than others. just really tightly matted, and a lot of them just bundled up together and all interconnected in this big web. But once you slice through them and start breaking up the big ones, then you start, breaking them down into smaller and smaller pieces, and then they become more manageable. And then once you work them out, then it's pretty easy after that, you know? So it's just kind of understanding what's creating the mat and how to work it. One second, girl. Here we go. All right, it's camera angles. If you're gonna be a model, you have to understand camera angles, girl. You know what I'm saying? You can't just stand however you want. Not if you're gonna be a model. Sorry, I did just yank on your ear. I'm sorry. Good girl. Oh, you're doing so good. Oh man, there we go. That's a big one right there. So whenever you run into a really thick one and it's right there, right where the skin is, you don't really have a lot of room, just wiggle the scissor blade back and forth. And as you wiggle the scissor blade back and forth, it'll start creating some room in between that mat and the skin, and then you can slice through it. And then once you slice through it, then it becomes easier and easier to break it up into smaller and smaller pieces, and then we can comb it out. So people have been wondering what I've been doing because I've just been putting fishing stories on my YouTube channel recently. Hey, I got some fishing invitations from it though. A fellow dog enthusiast, grooming enthusiast, inviting me out to go fishing because they also like fishing. So I'm kind of glad I posted all those fishing stories, even how even though it might have been weird. But anyways, this is what I've been doing, just doing this every day for my clients, just kind of in secret. Today just kind of worked out because I'm all alone in this house, and her owner is very, attentive, and she's a very concerned owner. And like that's the thing, is like even though it may look like, oh my God, how can somebody let her get this matted? Again, I'm trying to explain, it's this sunlight, it's this summer. And also, we went a little bit past our regular appointment because, I had to reschedule a couple times. So, it's not the owner's fault. But the thing is, like, yeah, I just wanted to make sure, if they wanted to, they can check in and see how their dog's doing since I'm here all by myself. But also, I was thinking this might be a really good chance for me to, get back on YouTube and just say hello to everybody. But this is what I've been doing, just kind of in private, just doing my own thing these days and spending time with my daughters. They were with me for like 2 months. It was awesome. But yeah, all right. Oh my goodness. Wow, that is really thick. Good girl. Yeah, there's no easy or fast way to do this if you're trying to save the coat. The only easy, fast way to to do this is to just clip her down, shave the whole thing off, and start over. But yeah, if you're trying to save some hair, any length of hair, even if you're only trying to save an inch, or even a half an inch, or a quarter of an inch, anything more than what a clipper blade is, like clipping them down to their skin, anything more than that, and then this is kind of what it takes. You have to go through it and break it all up so we can comb it all out before we wash her. Otherwise, if I wash her in this, it's gonna be a nightmare, and then I'm gonna end up having to shave her anyways after the bath. So it's better to just clip them down before the bath if you are gonna clip them down. That way you can wash their skin, really good once they're clipped down. But if you're gonna try to save their coat, then you have to do all this before the bath. If you try to do this after washing them, you're going to end up shaving them. And if you're going to shave them anyways, I say it's better to shave them before you wash them. That way, if they're itchy afterwards, after you shave them, because whenever I shave myself, whenever I shave my neck or, anything like that, whenever I used to do I used to buzz my hair down and yeah, it would always be itchy afterwards. So if that's true for us, and they have more sensitive skin than us, then it's got to be true for them too. When we buzz them down, they've got to feel itchy afterwards. So I suggest doing it before the bath, so that after you buzz them down, if they're itchy, the bath will help, soothe the skin. Oh, I'm sorry, girl. There we go. Alrighty. Alrighty. So, some people would say that this is like, torturing a dog, to put a dog through all of this. And I say context is important. If she didn't trust me and she was attacking me and the scissors and this was not safe, of course, clip her down, do the safe thing. But when you have a dog that trusts you like she does, she trusts me, she knows what I'm doing, and we've done this before. When I first met her, she was really tangled up. And yeah, I took my time and we went through this. And she didn't really know who I was at that time, and so her mom was with me, which is why her mom likes to stay, you know. But I was telling her mom, like, she trusts me now. She's good, So I'm glad that I'm doing this so that her mom can see, like, yeah, she's good. She trusts me, we're all right. There we go. Okay, right, girl. And she can smell the sweat coming off of me. She knows I'm working hard, trying to help her out. So I think context is very important. It's with dogs you can't use a cookie cutter approach, one size fits all. I may do this for this girl here, but for example, the dog Charlie, that Shih Tzu down in Orlando, I don't do any kind of brushing or anything. We just clip her down, and we just try to do it as safe as possible because she is crazy and she's dangerous. She's wild and vicious. So, but would I shave every dog like that? No. So I think with dog grooming, you really have to look at each individual circumstance and situation. Every dog is unique. Every dog has their own personality. Like you really have to take a unique approach to each and every single dog. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. That's how I believe. All right, there we go. And that's why I think that this is perfect for me. I used to, I don't know if anybody's been watching this channel for a long time. I was thinking like, I need to get like a small office space and start a studio and like, start training people and like, be more of a teacher and have students. And I thought that that's what I needed to do to be successful, like the way other people would, define success, I guess. But I realized like I don't really like dealing with a lot of people like that. And I don't really like doing admin work, like I'm horrible at it. Even scheduling my clients is like, you know, it takes a lot of effort and willpower for me to sit down and actually text my clients and email them and get them scheduled. Oh, I hate that. Like I'm a free spirit. I like being out in nature. I like exploring new creeks and, fishing for whatever is in there. just to see what bites. I've been catching some very interesting fish. But anyways, I just love, that, and I love being an artist. I love the work. So I realized like I don't really want to start a school. I don't really want to, do all that. And then yeah, like I was thinking like what's my next step? But then I was like, why can't I just keep doing this until I'm ready to retire, until I'm like 60 or 70, like I don't know. But that's where I'm at these days. Just realizing that life is short, and no matter what great achievement I accomplish in this life, it will only really matter to me in the end. you know? It's not like we celebrate the great people in history that made a real positive, impact on humanity, on society. It's not like we take the time and appreciate them. My point is, anything I do in this life, it's got to be because it was meaningful to me. That it made my experience here more meaningful, more purposeful. You know, and I don't know. I was thinking like becoming famous. I don't know if that's what I want anymore. And that's why I really haven't been doing much on the YouTube channel or anything. I just been working, just groom my clients' dogs, get them feeling the best I can possibly get them to feel because when they feel good, they'll look good, you know? So do that, and then after I get done with work, just depending on what time I get done, I either fish or hang out with my girls. But now they're in Nashville. But I love spending time on the phone with them too. I mean, we'll talk for hours at a time. All right, there we go. Nice. Right? That's gotta feel better. Oh man. Wow. There's a thick pelt around her belly, her ribs and her belly. Okay. Wow, look at that. Crazy, right? Wow, I got you, girl. I got you. There we go. This really is like exercise, like working out, I think. The repetitive motion, my arm muscles. So I've mentioned this to several people. I've mentioned it in several of my streams. But if you've never watched it, look up on TED Talk on YouTube. TED Talk. Her name's Alia Crum. Aliacrum. Alia Crum. And it's titled Change Your Mindset, Change Your Life. And I think that's what it's called. But in that speech, her voice is a little shaky. She's nervous, like you could tell. And as long as you can get past that and listen to what she's saying, listen to the content, oh my God. They took housekeepers, 80 housekeepers, and half of them, they showed them information that like explained how their job, the work that they do, cleaning those hotel rooms and going up those stairs, vacuuming, it's all exercise and it's actually exceeding the daily suggested daily exercise, recommendation, whatever. It exceeds that. And so just by doing their jobs and changing nothing else, they should see health benefits, these hotel maids. They half of them got that presentation, the other half did not. When they went back, I think it was 3 months later, the half that got that presentation, they were actually healthier. The thing is, it was actually not even true. The information that they showed them, it wasn't even true. But because they believed it was true, it had that positive effect on their bodies because they believed that their job was making them healthier because it was like exercise, they actually got healthier. And then when they went back, like 6 months later, I think it was, some of the housekeepers on the side that got that information that they actually got healthier, some of them actually joined the gym. Their entire lifestyle changed because they saw themselves differently. They saw themselves as somebody who lived an active lifestyle simply by the job they did. And then they started going to the gym, and then they started getting even healthier. Like, so I started to think, wow, if that can be true for hotel maids, for housekeepers, why can't it be true for dog groomers? Our job is very active and physically demanding. And I was thinking, yeah, I'm gonna treat this like a workout and think to myself, this work is making me stronger. This is exercise. When I'm outside on someone's back patio, like yesterday, and I was brushing out a dog and it was humid and hot and I was sweating, I was telling myself, I'm getting paid to sweat and exercise and burn calories. I was like, this is why I'm so healthy because I'm getting paid to exercise. I was like, I'm kind of like working out in a sauna right now, getting paid to do it. I was like, this is awesome. Instead of thinking, oh, this is so miserable. I'm so hot and sweaty and sticky and all this dog hair is crawling all over my face. Instead of thinking that, thinking about the same situation positively, and I go through, not only do I go through the experience more positively, but I get more positive results simply by changing the way I'm thinking about the situation that I'm going through. The situation doesn't have to change, simply the way I look at it. And that's Dr. Wayne Dyer. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And it's really true. It really is. Like, you can go through a situation and feel miserable, and it will literally age you, or you could go through the same situation and look at it as a challenge that's making you stronger, and you will come out of that situation stronger and healthier. It really is, in my opinion. Now, I can be wrong about all this. I'm only 41 and I've been wrong most of my life. So this could be just another situation where I'm wrong. So don't take my word for any of this. I'm just talking. I'm just talking out loud. Right, girl? So don't take any of what I'm saying as truth. Just something to consider. Something to consider. All right. Right, girl? All right. Oh, this area is a little thick. All right. There we go. Good girl. See? So then the scissors and then the dematting rake, because this has blades on it. So I'm further breaking up these mats. There we go. Good girl. Okay, so I'll move on. She's hiding that leg, so I'll just move on to a different area. Because it's all got to get done anyways. So yeah, she's like, I had enough in that area. Okay, we'll take a break on that area. We'll go back to it later. Because there's mats right here I can work on. There you go. Wow, look at this. Right, girl? Wow, that's gotta feel better. That's gotta feel better. Tell me that doesn't feel better. Getting that out of where her armpits and everything were was just that. Tell me that doesn't feel better. Right, girl? Alrighty. There we go. You know what? Going back to like your vocation, your calling and stuff, right? And me not wanting to be famous anymore. I'm not trying to say that fame is not something that you should go after in this lifetime. It definitely is something, it's a great achievement if that's what makes your time here meaningful. That's the thing. It's like, do you feel called to do it? Do you feel like that's what you're meant to do? Then do it. Then go for it. Because it's going to make your existence here meaningful, your time here more meaningful. But for me, I just don't feel that calling. I feel called to do this, and I feel more myself when I'm out there in nature, hiking, fishing, on my canoe, like it just feels right to me. So for me, I feel like it would be wrong for me to go after it because I would only be doing it to try to make my mom proud of me, to try to gain, the good opinion of others, get other people to like me. I would be doing it for everyone else, not for me. Like, I personally probably wouldn't even enjoy it. So, no, actually, I had a dream, and I know I wouldn't enjoy it, and that's what actually convinced me to stop trying to get famous. Um, but if what I'm saying is that it's not a bad thing, though. Nothing is good or bad, really. It's just, is it good or bad for you? So if you feel like, getting that recognition and because there's nothing wrong with that and getting all that attention from people, if that's something that makes your time here more meaningful, then go for it. Yes, if but it has to be because you want it, not because you think other people will like you more because of it, because they won't. Honestly, no matter what you do for others, you'll always come up short because you can never please everyone else. So, you know, if you're doing it for you, I say go for it. But if you're doing it for everyone else, then maybe sit down and rethink what is it that actually makes you feel happy inside. Because when I was telling my daughters, when I think about um, my having a hook in the water and I'm reeling it in, working the bait, and then all of a sudden the line goes tight, and I'm fighting a big fish on the other end. I feel, I mean, it feels exciting just thinking about it. I was like, there's nothing more exciting for me than that, and I just love it. I know that this is something that I was meant to do. Because I love it so much, and I just can't stop thinking about it. Same thing with dogs and dog grooming when I first got into it. These things just felt natural to me. Like I should be doing this, like I was made for it. Like archery, oh my goodness. Now I know why my thumb is bent like this too, because Asian style archery, you tuck it under and you use your finger like this to pull your thumb, you pull the string with your thumb. Now I know why my thumb is bent like this. I always wondered why. It's because I'm an archer. I'm an Asian Asian archer. Anyways, my point is, it should feel natural to you. Like when you close your eyes, what can you think about that will make you naturally feel excited? You don't have to manufacture it. You just naturally feel excited when you think about it. For me, it's this, helping dogs, gaining their trust and affection, making the dog look beautiful. It makes me feel excited because it's not something that everyone can do. It makes me feel proud of myself. Same thing with fishing. I love going out there and doing it, even though I do feel infuriated sometimes and I feel so angry and frustrated because I'm not good at it yet. Still, and those lucky moments where I do accidentally catch a fish, wow. Like this is what I feel like I was meant to do. It's like spend some time and think about what are those things for you? Is it hiking, going out into the woods and going hiking, seeing waterfalls? Like what makes you feel at peace inside? And spend more time doing those things. Because in the end, no matter what great thing you achieve, the world simply doesn't care. I mean, I don't want to sound negative or, bleak or anything, but it's just the truth. How many of us would know Martin Luther King's birthday if it wasn't on the calendar? Would you know? right? And that man did great things for America, for our society, for civil rights, you know. I mean, what about Gandhi? I don't know his birthday, you know, or Nelson Mandela, you know. These people did some great, Mother Teresa. These people did some great things with their lives, sacrificed everything for humanity, you know. How often do we take time to appreciate them? So that's just the thing. It's like, do I think that I'm gonna accomplish anything greater than Nelson Mandela or Gandhi, or and I know we're not supposed to compare, but I'm just saying, you know, what great thing could I achieve that would be greater than their achievements, and they don't even get, you know, the recognition and appreciation that they deserve. It's like, so I started to think, okay, well then, instead of thinking like how I'm gonna spend my time here, like and what I'm gonna do for the world, it's like the world is gonna take care of itself. The world will be fine. Even if we destroy ourselves, the earth will still go on. The earth will still recover. It doesn't need human beings. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't need us. So like, I don't know. I'm just thinking like, how do I want to spend my time here? What would make it most meaningful to me? All right. And I think doing something difficult to help others as a way to earn an income, like I'm doing now, it makes me feel proud of myself. Um, yeah, spending time outdoors, learning how to fish and hunt, you know, mushroom hunting, trying to learn what mushrooms are safe to eat. These things make my life meaningful to me. I think that's all that matters in the end. There we go. The thing is, I almost died last year, October. I got in a huge accident. It's on my Instagram. My car, I slammed into an SUV, the back of an SUV, so hard that it spun around so that it was now facing oncoming traffic and it flipped upside down. So I hit the SUV so hard, it flipped upside down and spun around. And my car was up in the air spinning. Every airbag blew. I really, I really am lucky to be alive. But after that incident, I realized that happened like on a Sunday, I think. I realized like by Tuesday, everything was back to normal. Like, had I died, by Tuesday, the world would have moved on. You know, my family, not so much. They would have a lot to deal with, but that's the thing. The only people that would still miss me or think about me right now are my daughters, and the people that really care about me. And so that's who I started to really focus my attention and my time on after the accident. The people who would actually care, who would actually miss me. Because I realized no matter how big of an impact I make on my YouTube audience, for example, oh, you're okay, or or the people who read my blog or listen to my podcast, no matter how big of an impact I make on the world is going to move on fairly quickly if I die, right? No matter how big of an impact I make. Look at Kobe Bryant, right? So, but then I was thinking with my daughters, though, the impact that I make on them could last generations, you know? So that's why I've been having more conversations with my daughters and just spending time talking to them, listening to them, finding out who they are, trying, not telling them who I think they should be, trying to learn who they are, what their likes and what their interests are, like what they think about life so far. We have philosophical conversations, like, and I realize this is what matters, because these are the people who are gonna think about me and care about me, and actually remember the things that I told them, are the two little girls right in front of me. So, I've just been, sorry, I'm sweating, and I've just been focusing on my bubble of it, my circle of influence, the people um, that I actually come into contact with and make an impact on every day, like my clients, my daughters, even my ex. I'm trying to learn to, you know, yeah, yeah. There we go. Good girl. All right. And again, you have to the dog, you and the dog, you have to trust each other in order to do something like this, like dematting a dog. If a dog's this matted, my opinion, yeah, they're probably best to go ahead and shave them. But especially at a salon, because you have other dogs scheduled and other dogs waiting to be groomed, like it's just impossible. You don't have the time, you know, to do all this in a salon setting, in a shop setting. So yeah, I'm not. But if anyone's watching this thinking that I'm saying that this is what you should do, no. I'm just showing that this is what I do with this one dog in order to keep her coat. And if you have a dog with long hair and you want to save their coat as well, this is an option. And if it's your own personal dog and you're trying to save their coat and they're all matted because this summer has been really tough, then this is how you can do it. Because if you wash your dog, it's only going to get worse. Then you're going to have to shave it. There we go. Good girl. Good girl. Let me get some water. Oh, good shake. What time is it? I wonder what time it is. 12, okay. Okay. All right. Okay, so about an hour. There we go. Let's try this. There we go. Help break up the mats and pull it out easier. There we go. There we go. Good girl. All right, here, all the stick mats were. I want to break that up more. It's difficult because the dog moves, you know, you're not working on a stationary object. You know, you're working on something that moves and has thoughts and feelings of their own. So, yeah, sometimes it takes a little longer because, you know, the dog just, you know, has feelings and moves. Oh, God. Let me blow my nose. Oh, oh man. Oh, there we go. Man, I wish I wasn't sober for this. You know what I'm saying, Hadu? I wish I was not sober for this. I was kidding. Is people watching? Oh no, people are watching. You know what I'm saying, right? I'm just saying, you know, maybe a shot of whiskey would help. I don't know, right? But I don't know where they keep their alcohol here. Even if I knew, right, Hadu, I would not touch it, right? I have integrity like that. Maybe I would text them though, say, hey, could I get a sip? You know, just wet my beak a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Can I wet my beak a little bit? I'm just kidding. Why would I do that? Like, how do? Okay, there we go. I think we're over like the hump, the most difficult part, because now it's starting to come out. And then once I am able to get this out like that, okay, now I'm gonna be able to comb through it, and it's gonna start moving pretty quickly now. Okay, it's just the hardest part is the prep, is getting all of this done. But then once this is done, you know, like this is honest work. It's honest labor, you know, because once I comb all of this out and I get it out of their hair, out of their coat, you know, out of their skin, there's no way it's going to grow back that quickly, all of this stuff that I get out, you know. So once I get her combed out, she's going to stay nice and combed, you know, like nice and, you know, not matted. It's going to stay nice and fluffy. There we go. Ooh, that water hit. I was feeling a little down, a little, you know, exhausted, but that water hit, baby. Right, girl? All right. There we go. No, don't bite me. I'm sorry, girl. I got a little excited. All right. Started going a little faster because I got excited. I'm like, oh my God, there's the finish line. There you go. But I gotta keep my cool, you know. There we go. Ooh, that's gotta feel better. Go. You're welcome. There we go. Bam. Do you see that? I don't know if anybody saw that. Happened too quick. You know what I'm saying? You might want to hit double tap that left side. You know what I'm saying? Go back 10 seconds and try to see if you can catch what I just did with my freaking scissors. You know what I'm saying? Skills. Anyways, so wonder I even have any people watching my stuff. All right. Wow, stick right there. Oh, oh. I meant ow. That's what I meant to say. Ow. Huh. I don't know why that high pitched ow came out. All right. What I meant to say was ouch, you know? Okay. Good girl. There we go. Nice. See, it's like this, like these networks with just matted hair. Okay, I'll clean it all up later. I'll sweep it all up. Nice. Good girl. There we go. There you go. Good girl. Nice. So satisfying. When you finally break it up enough and it starts to just comb out really easy. So satisfying. There we go. All right. There we go. Oh, hold on. There's this big piece. See? There's this big piece right there that's bothering her. There we go. Alrighty. So I'm kind of torn on this because I say I say do what you believe is right. You know, it doesn't matter what other people say. If you feel in your heart that something is right to do, then you do that. So if you feel that in your heart doing this is not right. It's not right to put a dog through all of this. It takes too much time, you know. If that's what you believe, then don't do this, of course. I would never want anybody to do something that makes them feel like they're doing something that goes against what they believe is right. So, and if she was not as tolerant and she didn't trust me, then I would say that this would probably be the wrong thing to do as well. It's case by case with me, but um, on one hand, I understand that the skin needs the hair, especially these long-haired dogs. I mean, they're genetically coded to have this long hair because they need it. It helps their skin. It keeps it protected from the sun, keeps it insulated so that they actually stay cooler with their hair to protect them. Kind of like in the desert, people stay all covered up in robes and they cover their head in turbans and stuff. The reason they do that is because it protects them from the heat, from the sun, from that desert, intense desert sun. If they did not have all of that, if we went over there and took all that off them and said, "You must be so hot in all this," and we put swimsuits on them, swimming trunks on the men, bikinis on the women, and like, see, now you're going to be nice and cool. We probably just killed them. What I'm saying? They need that covering. So same thing with the dogs. They need their hair to protect them from the sun. It actually keeps them cooler, and also they don't tan the way we do. So they need their hair to protect them so that they don't get direct exposure to the sunlight. So on one hand, I understand, like, yeah, they do need this hair. So I see, like, if this is possible, if it's possible to save the code, and if it's possible to do this with your dog, if your dog trusts you enough, and you're comfortable enough, confident enough with the tools that you can do this, I see the benefits in doing this. I really do. Because the hair is also the highway that the oil being produced by the skin. So the skin makes oil through the sebaceous glands inside the pores. And it's like the sebum, the sebaceous oils that come out of the skin that protect the skin and the hair. The oil being produced by their skin, it uses this hair to travel all along their body. Without this hair, they would have no way to move across the body. Kind of how like the flea and tick medicine, the topical ones that you put behind their shoulders, that's how that works. It uses the oil, which is using the hair, to travel all over their body. And that's why even though you put it on the back of their shoulder, it protects their whole body because it eventually moves all along their body. If you get rid of all the hair, you've gotten rid of the highway, the road, the mode of transportation for the oils to move across the dog's body. So then it starts to pull together. And, the skin is alive and it's working to heal itself all the time. So you won't really notice anything bad happening the first few times. But if you keep repeating it, then after a while, a dog that gets shaved down often, regularly, you'll notice the armpits here, down here in the tummy area, in the inner thighs, they'll get nasty and you know kind of dark skin bumps, and that's because the oil is pulling in those areas because of gravity. Gravity is pulling it down, and so the armpits get yucky because the oil is just sitting there in the armpits. And just like a pool of water, stagnant water gets yucky, moving water stays clean. That's why I do see the benefits of saving this code, going through, taking this time, putting in the effort to save this hair. I do see the benefits. On the other hand, if the dog is not cooperative and the dog doesn't trust you, and it could be, dangerous for the dog, you could possibly injure the dog, then I say go ahead and just clip them down. If she was really reacting and she was, like this was like you could tell that this is like a torturous experience for her, then yeah, I'd say, all right, we have to make the difficult decision to go ahead and just clip her down short. Let's get the clippers and let's just shave it all off and start over. But if you have a dog that is cooperative and she trusts you and she actually appreciates you getting all of these gnats out of her coat, then I say it's worth it because, the hair does help keep the skin healthy. The skin needs the hair. So, yeah, I see both sides, and that's why I feel like there is no right or wrong, really. There's just right or wrong for each individual situation, you know? Like, yeah, I I don't know. If somebody emails me or contacts me and says, my groomer shaved my dog, she didn't take the time to comb it out and she just shaved it. Can you believe that? I rarely say, oh, that's a bad groomer. No, like I just tell them, in that situation, I may have done the same. I don't know. I can't judge people because you don't know. You weren't in that situation. I remember one time I got this story sent to me, this news clip of a groomer, and it had her mugshot and it had the story of the dog. And I clicked on the news clip, the video, and the groomer told the owners that the dog died while it was being groomed. And the owners took the dog to their vet to get it, have an autopsy done. And they found out that it had trauma to the head and like lesion to the neck or something, like basically it was choked and had blunt force trauma to the head, like it was bashed against the wall. So um, she was being, put in jail for animal cruelty charges. And the story was that this groomer lost her temper and she grabbed the dog by the leash, and swung the dog and slammed it against the wall. And that's how the dog died. Its head got bashed against the wall. And so everybody's calling her a monster. And I'm not trying to defend her, but when I saw that, I was telling the person that sent that story to me that you really don't know, though. We can't call her a monster until we actually know what happened. Because I've groomed some Maltese before who were monsters. They were little monsters and they would bite so hard. And so I was telling them, like, you never know if that Maltese bit her so hard that just without even realizing it, just out of reaction, she pulled her hand back with the dog still latched to it, and it hit the wall, like, ow! And the dog, got flung against the wall. I was like, you never know. Like, let's not be so quick to judge people and judge others and call them monsters, when we don't know what actually happened. But anyways, so yeah, I always say, if you feel like what you're doing is right, then do it. But if you feel like it's not right, then don't do it for any amount of money. Because I know one groomer, she was angry with me and she was saying how, this is torturous to a dog and all this stuff. And, she was saying that if she does demat a dog, she'll only do it once, the first time, and she charges $100 an hour or something like that. And so I told her, wait a minute, but you just told me that you believe that this is torturous to a dog and that it's wrong and that you believe you shouldn't do it. But you're saying that you'll do it for $100 an hour? You know? I was telling her that doesn't make sense to me because if I thought it was wrong, I wouldn't do it. Period. There's no amount of money that would make it okay to do it for me if I thought it was wrong. You know? I'm doing this because I feel like this is going to help her. This is going to help her feel better. How could it not? All of these tangles and all this stuff that was there, I'm getting rid of it for her. I'm getting it out. I'm like removing layers of old hair, that kind of like layers of old clothes. That's just dirty and uncomfortable, and I'm getting rid of it for her. Like, how could she not feel better? So for me, I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. In fact, I'm doing the more difficult thing. And the way I believe, usually the right thing and the more difficult thing, they're usually the same. So for me, like if I thought that this was wrong to do And if she was not so cooperative and appreciative, then I would think, okay, this is wrong to do. Let's shave her. But that's the thing. It's like if I thought that she needed to just get shaved and she cannot tolerate this, this is just too much for her. She doesn't trust me, she's scared, then I would shave her. And there's no amount of money that these people could pay me to stop me. I would just leave. I would tell them, okay, well, I'm not gonna do it. I'm going home. I'd rather go home with a clear conscience, you know? So that's me. But yeah, that just shocked me when that groomer was saying, what you're doing is wrong. It's torture and abuse. It's dog abuse. You're abusing the dogs, keeping them on the table for that long. And I was like, but I believe I'm helping them. And I believe that the dogs can feel it. They sense that I'm helping them. They feel my intention. And she was like, the only way I would do it is if I charged $100 an hour. And I was like, wow. So that means that you're willing to sell your integrity for $100 an hour? That's all it takes, you know? Because for me, if it's wrong, it's wrong. It doesn't become right suddenly because of money. Suddenly, because money appears, a certain amount of money appears, all of a sudden what's wrong becomes right? No, not for me. So, anyways, I know I'm unpopular. These are very unpopular thoughts and opinions. They're my opinions, they're probably wrong. But yeah, I've made peace. I've accepted the fact that I'm not out to change anyone. You know, I'm just trying to do my best and trying to help as many dogs as I can and try to be the best father I can be. Trying to be the best fisherman I can be, the best outdoorsman I can be. Yeah. I try to take a trash bag out every time I go out fishing and pick up trash every time I'm out there. It just makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I'm doing something useful with my time here on Earth. So even if I don't catch any fish and I get tangled up and I'm spending more time untangling my tangled up line, I'm unraveling that, spending more time doing that than actually fishing, and I'm getting so frustrated. I still feel like my time, it was still worth going out there, even if it was just to pick up some trash, just to clean up the area a little bit. That would still be worth it, even if I don't catch any fish. Because I toss them back anyways, So whenever I start getting frustrated, I just tell myself, hey, idiot, you're gonna toss them back anyways. The point is not to catch the fish. The point is, right? Even she's laughing at me. The point is not to catch the fish. The point is to go out there and enjoy yourself and enjoy nature, and learn how to fish better, practice these techniques. I'm new, it's like, yeah. Sometimes I get upset the way I would get upset if I was depending on that fish for food or something. Maybe that's it. Like, because I like to sometimes pretend if I'm out there in a survival situation, would I have the skills and the knowledge to be able to catch fish and provide for myself and my family? So maybe because I'm kind of sometimes imagining that, I put that pressure on myself. And so if I don't catch a fish, I feel like I'm going to starve to death or something. It's like, hey, idiot, there's food at home. You were going to toss the fish back anyways. So, yeah, I guess the same thing with life, right? It's like, hey, what are you striving so hard for? There is no prize at the end. You don't win at life. Nobody wins at the game of life. You know, life is an infinite game. And Simon Sinek talks about that. The difference between a finite game and an infinite game. Finite games, like basketball or baseball, sports, they have rules. They have fixed rules. They have a scoring system. They have a clear winner and loser, and there's a clear end to the game, a beginning and an end. Infinite games. He gives business like as an example. You don't get into business to win the game of business. You start a business to keep it going for others, you know? And same thing with life. I feel like life is not a game to win. It's not an infinite, it's not a finite game. And we're playing it as if it was, as if there was a clear beginning and end to this life, and that there's a way to win come out on top somehow when we're all headed to the same place. We're all headed to the grave. And it's like, there's nothing to win here, nothing that you can take with you, you know, there's no prize. And so it's like, life is not a game to win. Life is a game we play. And the only purpose of this game is to keep it going for the people coming in behind us so that they can keep playing. It's an infinite game, you know? So I don't know. I'm starting to realize, like, wow, I just need to enjoy my time here, you know? And not everything is enjoyable, you know? Like, you know, spending hours combing out tangled mats and on a dog is not always enjoyable, but you can find the joy in the work, in in the difficulty, like knowing that this is helping this dog, it's helping someone else, knowing that we can have a positive effect on something else, on other people, and she's not a person, but still she has feelings and thoughts, and the way she feels and her comfort matters, and I think she does appreciate the effort I put in. So, yeah, and I'm not doing this to win anything. I'm not doing this to try to compare myself or try to say that I'm better than anyone or anything. This is not, it's an infinite game. When I come back, she's gonna have tangles again, and probably gonna have to do this again. Hopefully, it won't be this bad because it won't be summertime, and also, you know, we won't go as long as we did this time. And again, that was my fault. I I got to get better at scheduling. But anyways, here we go. Good girl. We're almost done combing you out. Isn't that incredible? We went from a completely matted dog, head to tail, to now I can go through with this dematting rake, and I'm not catching right here. I knew I was going to catch some, but almost, right? Almost in the clear all the way, head to toe. This leg here, and then I'm going to go through with the comb, and then she's going to be combed out, ready for the bath. And then since she already kind of feels clean and soft because most of this hair is healthy, there we go. She's gonna, the washing is gonna be so fast and easy. She's gonna lather up so easy because um, all of this stuff that's gonna make it harder to lather her up, is gonna be gone. I'm gonna comb it out. So it's not gonna take as much shampoo. She's gonna lather up easy. She's gonna rinse easy. She's gonna feel so clean. She already feels cleaner. Alrighty. And then drying her is gonna be easy. She's gonna dry in no time because all of this hair is what makes it so impossible to dry. This just holds onto the water like a sponge. And so all of this in here, you can see how difficult it would be to get her to be dry. Even when you get her dry, she's still gonna feel damp again. But this hair here is nice and soft and it feels silky. You can tell that it's gonna dry pretty much on its own. I just have to help it along a little bit and just blow dry it a little bit. But yeah, this hair is gonna dry much easier because this stuff is out. See that? So that's why I don't rely on the bath to get my dogs to feel clean. They already look and feel clean before I put them in the tub to wash them. The shampoo and the conditioner is simply for their skin, to help condition their skin, clean and condition their skin. And so if I want their skin clean, I need to get all of this out of their pores so that I create room inside their pores for the water and the shampoo and the conditioner to actually get inside the skin, penetrate the skin, actually get in those pores and clean out the skin. The only way that's going to happen is if I unclog the skin, get all of this out of there. See that? But you could still do the same thing if you have to shave. So let's just say that I decided, this is just too much and it's just too much to ask of her. She can't handle the stress. Let's just shave her. Then I would clip her down before the bath, and then I would go through with something like this, and I would still brush the skin out. And you'd be surprised, you'll still get fuzzy stuff like this even after you clip them, because it's coming out from their skin. And all that stubble that was left inside there, the root of the hair, all of that starts coming out. And then you can wash them, and you can still get their skin pretty clean. There we go. All right. Wow, look at all of that. I can feel it. You could feel like the dander, the crusty stuff coming out through your fingers. There we go. Oh, nice. Oh, man. This is the last leg. There we go. All right. Okay. Man, this would be so much nicer if I was high. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Yeah. Sometimes it's okay to be sober for things. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to live my whole life high. You know what I'm saying? Like, can I never be sober? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding about all that stuff. Anyways, there we go. Okay, there we go. Okay. Oh, sorry. There we go. Wow. See, so now I'm pulling out all that dead fuzzy hair. It's like wool. It feels like wool, like rough, dry, fuzzy. There we go. And I love this slicker brush. I'm not usually a fan of slicker brushes. I prefer the comb, but I love these gem slicker brushes that Ashley gave me. So I was down in Orlando grooming that, crazy dog Charlie. And I knew Ashley lives in Orlando, but I also know she's really busy. She has 4 kids. She has her own business, her own grooming business that she does, and she's also trying to break out as a singer as well. She has her own album that she's making. She has her hit song called "Worth It" that's on the radio in Trinidad right now. Um, and it's like that island kind of music, that island genre. But anyways, reggae. But so I know she's really busy, so I just didn't even want to bother her. So I was just hanging out in my tent because I rented a tent down in Orlando, and I was just chilling. And she messaged me because she saw my post, and she was like, "Hey, I see you're here in Orlando." And I was like, "Oh my God, yeah, but I didn't want to bother you. I was like, I know you're busy." And she was like, "No, no, come hang out." So I went over and we hung out, and had a great conversation and just got to catch up, see how she's doing. And yeah, but she was so nice. She gave me two of these. She gave me this one and a yellow one for double coated dogs. This one's more for this long haired type coat, poodles and stuff. So I love it. Like she told me I would. She was like, "This is gonna change your life." You know what? We could just get rid of this. But she's just gonna keep moving it around. It's just there we go. Okay. But yeah, I really like this. There we go. I offered to pay for it, because she sells this at her shop. But yeah, she would not let me buy it. She's so nice. All right. There we go. It's nice to have a friend like that, though, because I really wasn't sure. Because she was like, we're friends, and sometimes I don't really know what that means. Usually when someone tells me that we're friends, I just assume that, we're friends, like we're gonna we can talk, right? I can call, we can hang out, right? That's why we're friends. And so, let me lift this a little bit. So I never know, and I've made mistakes before. So I just now I'm just careful. Even though someone says we're friends, now I know like that just means that they know me. That doesn't mean that I'm welcome to call them or text them or see what they're doing that weekend. That's not an open invitation to be a part of their life. It just means that we know each other. But with Ashley, she was like, "No, we're friends." She said she really considers me a friend. So that's awesome. Next time I'm down in Orlando, I'm gonna go back and hang out. Next time I go to Orlando, I'm gonna take a fishing pole with me, and I'm gonna do some fishing down there. I was just a little intimidated because I'm used to fishing ponds, local ponds. The biggest body of water that I fished so far is Lake Lanier, and that's huge to me. So to go down to Florida and see the ocean, yeah, it was just a little, yeah, intimidating. I was like, oh, I can't fish here. But yeah, next time I might try it. Okay. I have to remind myself that the point is not to catch the fish. The point is to go out there and have that experience, you know? And there's always a possibility, every fish I caught so far, every big bass I've caught so far, I felt like it was just pure luck. But then I tell myself, but I had to at least put a hook in the water to get lucky, I had to at least put myself in that position to get lucky. So yeah, maybe I can go down to Florida and catch a huge fish, saltwater fish. It'll be pure luck, but hey, at least at least I put myself in a position to get lucky. All right. There we go. Good girl. You're such a good girl. You're probably feeling so much better. Wow, look at all that, girl. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it smells, huh? Yeah, it smells. There we go. Good girl. There we go. There we go. Okay. Good girl. She is such a good girl, really. She really is. Wow, it was so thick with mats right here. Now it's nice and soft. Oh my goodness, it was thick with this kind of stuff. Good shake. Oh, ugh. Sorry Sorry, my AirPod just ran out of batteries. The other side in. Is it connected? Is it connected? I don't know. It's in there. Who knows? Okay. There we go. All right. Just get this side, and then we'll go through with the comb, get all the knots out, the final ones. Oh, look at that. That's a nice one. There we go. Okay. Oh, nice. All right. I think I'm in a great mood today, because, yeah, I'm sweating and this took a long time and everything, but I'm still happy because my skin is not covered in bumps and rashes everywhere. Holy cow, man. This past week, dealing with the wasp thing, and now my left ankle finally feels better. It's not swollen. So now I'm not dealing with pain in my left ankle, and I'm not dealing with bumps everywhere. I swear, when I lifted, this isn't OnlyFans, my bad. I thought I was on my other site. Anyways, I had rashes here, bumps here, everywhere, just poison ivy on the back of my neck, everywhere. It was horrible. It looked like I had leprosy or something. I don't know. I've never seen anybody with leprosy, but just what I imagine it would look like. I felt like, yeah, a diseased person. It was horrible, and that was just this past week. So I feel like, wow. No matter how, you know, bored you might feel, or how you might feel like everyone else has it better than you or whatever, cheer up, man. As long as you don't have bumps all over your body that's, itchy and painful, you're good, man. You know what I'm saying? Be grateful. Shoot, I'd rather be bored and comfortable. All right, there we go. Oh, look at that. Crazy, right? But it's because I went through with the scissors, and then that dematting rake, and then the slicker brush, and then you can go through with the comb and start combing out the remaining mats. There we go. Oh, she's feeling so soft now. Wow. Good girl. So soft. Okay, let's go. Okay, missed that one. This one's pretty thick. Right here on the side of the face. Missed it. There we go. Okay. Wow, look at that. That's what it was. Huge mat right there. Isn't that crazy? Okay, there we go. Nice. Oh, that's gotta feel better, right? Okay, because as that mat gets bigger and bigger, it starts, collecting more and more hair around it, thus pulling that skin under it more and more tighter, tighter and tighter, pulling at that skin more and more. So that skin underneath starts to just get really irritated, It probably hurts, but to have that mat finally cut out of there, like broken up and then pulled out, combed out, like wow, it's gotta feel so relieving. There we go. Wow, one thing I noticed, I can smell her breath. It's so strong. And I've noticed that that's with every single dog. As I'm combing them out, when I first start, their breath is, regular dog breath, sometimes doesn't smell so great, but nothing noticeable. But as I start combing them out and getting all this crud out of their skin, like the breath starts to smell more and more. I can, like, it's stronger and stronger. And here's a little hypothesis. Like, it's just a guess, educated guess. But here's my hypothesis as to why that happens. When I was out in Cave Creek, Arizona, working at the Yves Saint Bernard, the skin esthetician program, they said that the reason why it's not good to use cheap shampoo is because the dog's skin is so thin, so fragile that they can taste the chemicals in the shampoo in their tongue, in their mouth. And she's saying because their skin is so thin and it absorbs into their bloodstream pretty easily. And so they can taste all those cheap chemicals in their mouth. And that's why the dogs don't like it when you use cheap products. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Now, let's keep that in mind. And like when I'm brushing out all of this dander, all this dirty, smelly hair, the roots were in those pores inside the skin. And as I'm combing it out, all this dander around here, you can see like all this dander, it's being released from out of the skin, right? And I feel like some of it goes into the blood as well, and it circulates. And as I'm getting her skin clear, like detoxifying the skin pretty much, I'm smelling the toxins that her body's getting rid of through her breath. That's what I think. Because when I give them a bath, I don't even brush their teeth anymore. I used to, but I realized a tooth brushing does very little good, and I'd rather just save that time. Unless they're gonna do it every day, one tooth brushing, I feel like doesn't really do much good. So I don't brush their teeth anymore, but their breath actually smells better after the bath. When I can smell their breath when they're breathing in my face, it smells better after the bath. That's with every single dog I groom. I've been noticing that. And it's interesting. I think it's because once the shampoo and the conditioner clears out those pores and their skin is clean, I'm smelling that clean skin. Oh, I'm sorry, girl. I'm smelling that clean skin when in their breath. It's just a hypothesis. I don't, because I don't have any proof or any, real laboratory experiments or anything. But I'm just educated guess. Just, if if they can taste the shampoo through their skin, then maybe I can smell the dirty hairs and all of that, the dirty stuff that was in their skin, in their breath as it's getting released. I don't know. I mean, it might not make any sense what I'm saying. Here we go. Just a working hypothesis, I guess. But I noticed it with her just now too, when she was breathing in my face. It's like, wow, that's like really strong. Like that's the kind of breath, that's the smell that I recognize with every dog when I'm in this stage of the groom. When I'm combing all this stuff out, I smell, yeah, their breath is much worse. And then after they're clean, after their skin is clean, after the bath, and I'm doing the haircut, their breath smells good. And I didn't brush their teeth. Oh, I'm sorry, girl. So that's back there. But we're almost done. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? How long did it take? 132 minutes? So it took 2 hours. It took 2 hours, but we got a dog that was completely, oh, that's okay. Completely matted, head to toe. She was completely matted everywhere. So now I can get this comb, this metal comb through her coat. There's still a few mats here, still a few mats here, but look at that. Now I can get all of this combed out. She feels soft, she feels silky, she feels clean, she looks clean, she smells much better. Now I can just give her a bath and I'm gonna dry her hair. She's gonna be nice and long and fluffy. Look at that. And she's gonna stay clean because the conditioner is gonna seal up these hair fibers and protect the skin. The conditioner is like lotion for their skin and their hair. It protects, moisturizes. Look at that. Nice. Wow. There's a few mats here. That's okay. There we go. Now I'm going to do the close shaving too before the bath because, like I said, anytime you're shaving close to the skin, it could irritate the skin and make it feel itchy. So you want to do it before the bath. So the cool water when you're doing the conditioner. Because shampoo, you want to use warm water because warm water helps relax and open up those hair fibers. Conditioner, you want to use cool water so it seals everything back up. So when you're doing the conditioner with that nice cool water, it'll soothe the skin if it's feeling itchy or irritated. There we go. Oh man, look at that. Wow. No wonder your parents like you to have long hair because it's so beautiful. Look at that. All right, girl. So proud of you. Look at that. Wow. There you go. Okay, let's give you a nice bath. But first, I'm going to do the close shaving. Let me see. What time is it? And also, let me make sure her owners didn't text me or anything. Okay, good. All right. Perfect. Are there any comments? Oh, I can't see the live chat. Oh, wow. There are comments. Wow. Okay. Nice. People are watching. Maybe I shouldn't have said so much. I revealed too much. Haru, I revealed too much. Okay, it's okay. Alrighty. Let's get this close shaving done. Alrighty. The pads of her feet. You're okay. It's okay, girl. You're okay. She hates this part. There you go. Good girl. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. There we go. Let's do your back feet. No, you're okay. It's okay, girl. Ah, ah. Did I accidentally buzz your long hair? Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, so if they're doing that, a good way to control it is just to kind of do like this football hold. There we go. Good girl. Like you're cradling a little football. There we go. You want to hold it hard enough so that nobody can knock it out of your hands, but not so hard where you're squeezing it to, you're not trying to pop the football. No, you're okay. It's okay. See how she's like folding herself in? She wants to be able to reach this, so she's folding herself in. So I'm gonna tuck her head away from it. Oh, you're okay. You're okay. There we go. She feels the need to defend. There we go. But I just have to remind her this is not a fight. There's no reason to defend yourself. There you go. Good girl. That was a gnat right there. It's another one. Good girl. All right. And here I'm just gonna lightly skim because her parents don't like the hair too short here in the tummy area. So I'm just gonna skim lightly just to clean it up a little bit. And then do her pee pee area so it stays clean. There we go. Just around her pee pee area. Good girl. And now I'm gonna give her a bath. Awesome. So maybe after I wash and dry her, because that's gonna take about an hour, because I do shampoo. I let the shampoo sit in warm water for about 10 minutes, rinse. Then I do conditioner. I let that sit for less time. Conditioner, I usually only let it sit for like maybe 2, 3 minutes, maybe up to 5 minutes, rinse it off. And then I'm gonna dry her, which will take about maybe 20, 30 minutes. So I'll be back in about an hour with her all nice and washed and clean and dry, and I'll finish the haircut.